Good morning, students. Today we are going to start a new chapter, Chemical Coordination and Integration. In this chapter, we are going to discuss about the endocrine glands and hormones, human endocrine system, and mechanism of hormone action. After your exams, when your teacher distributes the test marks, some of you will feel anxiety and some may hesitate to hear your marks, and some also will feel worried. So all this are because, or do you know why the reasons for such immediate changes? And all these are because due to the hormones which are secreting in our body. And while seeing any unexpected happenings, we get goosebumps in our body. When you hear any shocking news or very happy news, we get goosebumps. Okay, do you know why the reason? So these are all due to the biochemical changes happening in our body. So there are many biochemical changes happening in our body. So due to this biochemical changes only, we may feel all these changes. So these biochemical changes are created by the endocrine system. From your lower classes, you might be hearing the word endocrine glands or endocrine system. We will be learning in detail about the endocrine system. So the above mentioned all the biochemical changes are due to the hormone adrenaline. So adrenaline is called as 3F hormone, that is flight, fright or fight hormone. Whenever we hear any shocking news or sad news, or whenever we are in anxiety, these hormones, that is adrenaline hormone, is secreted at the time of flight, fright and fight. So this hormone is called as flight, fright or fight hormone. Endocrine glands and hormones. Okay. So what are endocrine glands? Endocrine glands are ductless glands. They don't have any ducts. Ducts means tubes or vessels. For example, blood is carried out by the blood vessels, but there is no vessels or ducts for these endocrine glands secretions. The endocrine glands are located in different parts of our body, and their main function is to secrete the hormones. What are hormones? Hormones are chemical substances or chemical messengers. The physiological functions of human body are regulated and coordinated by both neural and endocrine system. Neural means the brain. So the brain as well as the endocrine system only controls and coordinates our body. The endocrine system influences the metabolic activities. So they influence or they controls the metabolic activities by means of the hormones. The meaning of hormone is to excite. So hormones are chemical messengers. So the hormones are chemical messengers which are secreted from the endocrine glands, and since they don't have any ducts, they are directly released into the blood and it is circulated as chemical signals and acts on specific organs or otherwise called as target organs. So target organs or specific organs means where that particular organ requires that particular hormone. So these hormones from the endocrine glands, they are directly released into the blood and carried to the blood to different target organs where the hormone actions are required. The role of hormones is to speed up or slow down the activity of the target organ. So the hormones either they speed up the activity of the target organs, or they slow down the activity of the organs, or they alter the activity of the target organs. The hormones which are secreted by the endocrine glands do not remain permanently in the blood. Afterwards, after finishing their functions or after finishing their role, they are converted by the liver into inactive compounds. So the liver convert the hormones into inactive compounds, and finally they are excreted out from the body through the kidney. The hormones are chemical messengers because they act as organic catalysts. Catalyst, you hear this term in chemistry, that is, which speed up the biochemical reactions. Catalyst or enzymes which speed up the biochemical reactions. So the hormones are organic catalysts and coenzymes to perform specific functions in the target organs. How they reach the target organs? Because there are different types of hormones and there are different organs. How these hormones reach a specific or target organs means the target organs contains receptors molecules either on the surface of the organ or within the cells. So due to these receptor molecules, these hormones reach the particular target organs and start doing their functions. Although different hormones come in contact with the cells, only the cells that contain the receptor molecules specify for the hormones are physiologically activated. So all the hormones come in contact with the different organs, but the organs which contain the specific receptor molecules only adhere the hormones, and the organs are physiologically activated. A single hormone may have multiple effects on a single target tissue or on different target tissues. So a single hormone, for example, if you take the thyroid hormone, so they will have not only the effect on a particular organ, and it has multiple effects on different target tissues. And if you take many hormones, they show long-term changes like growth, puberty and pregnancy. So the growth, puberty and pregnancy, all these are controlled by some specific hormones, and they act on that particular organ for a long term. So hormones often influence many organs and organ systems at the same time. So the hormones control many organs and organ systems at the same time. Serious deficiency or excess secretion of hormones leads to disorders. So when the condition disorder happens means when the hormone levels are secreted in very low quantity or it is secreted in very high amount. So the hormones levels are required by the body in a particular amount. If it is secreted in low also, it leads to some disorders, and if it is secreted in high amount also, it leads to some disorders. So serious deficiency or excess secretion of the hormones leads to disorders. So hormones coordinate different physical, physiological and mental activities and maintain the homeostasis. So what is homeostasis means? Maintenance of constant internal environment of the body by different coordinating system. For example, if a school is functioning properly means all the team has to work in a coordinated way, and the head of the institutions has to control all the members. Same way, if our body has to function properly, all the different organs and organ system has to function in a coordinated way. Such coordinations are controlled by this hormone. So it is called as, it maintains the homeostasis. Hormones are composed of water-soluble proteins or peptides or amides or fat-soluble steroids. So we are knowing that hormones are chemical substances or chemical messengers. So what is the composition or what is the ingredients of these hormones means? It contains water soluble proteins or peptides or amines or fat soluble steroids. Now we'll see about the human endocrine system. There are two glandular systems such as the exocrine glands and the endocrine glands. So what are glands? Glands are organs which secrete some substances. In Tamil we say surapigal. Glands means surapigal. So there are two types of glands. One is called as exocrine glands. Why the name exocrine and why the name endocrine? So two types of glands are exocrine glands and endocrine glands. Exocrine glands have ducts to carry the secretions. For example, the salivary glands, the sweat glands, all these are called as the exocrine glands because they have ducts to carry the secretions. The saliva is carried out by the salivary gland, sweat is carried out by the sweat glands. Like this, they have specific ducts to carry those secretions, hence they are called as exocrine glands. But the endocrine glands don't have any ducts. They are called as ductless glands. They have no ducts to carry the secretions, hence the name endocrine glands. The exocrine glands secrete enzymes, saliva and sweat and have ducts to carry their substances to the membrane surfaces. Example, salivary gland and gastric glands. The endocrine glands are called as ductless glands. They produce hormones and lack ducts. So, the hormones released by the endocrine glands are directly released into the blood and through the blood it circulates the body and reaches the target organs. The endocrine glands include the pituitary gland, thyroid, parathyroid gland, pineal gland, adrenal, thymus, and are also called as exclusive endocrine glands. The hypothalamus along with its neural function also produces hormones and it is considered as neuroendocrine gland. The hypothalamus is called as the neuroendocrine gland. In addition, several organs such as pancreas, gastrointestinal tract epithelium, kidney, heart, gonads, gonads means the sex organs in males and females are called as gonads, and placenta. Placenta, you know, at the time of pregnancy, the placenta only supplies nutrients to the developing embryo. So they also have endocrine tissues and also known as partial endocrine glands. So exclusive endocrine glands are pituitary, thyroid, parathyroid, pineal, adrenal, thymus, and partial endocrine glands are kidney, heart, gonads, gastrointestinal tract, pancreas, placenta. They are called as partial endocrine glands because they partially act as endocrine glands. At certain time only they act as endocrine glands, so they are called as partial endocrine glands. In this picture you can able to see the location of the different endocrine glands. The hypothalamus, pineal gland, pituitary gland are located at the brain. The thyroid gland is located at the neck region. The thymus gland is located at the chest region and the adrenal gland is located at the top of each kidney. The pancreas is located below the stomach and the ovary, that is a pair of ovaries, are located at the lower abdomen, and also a pair of testes also located outside the lower abdomen. So these are the locations of different endocrine glands. So chemical nature of hormones. So there are different types of hormones and what are the chemical nature of different hormones. Okay. For example, amides, the hormones which belong to amines, the chemical properties are they are small water soluble derived from tyrosine and tryptophan. Example, adrenaline, noradrenaline, melatonin and thyroid hormone, all this comes under the amines. And next are proteins or peptides, means they are water soluble in nature. An example for this are insulin, glucagon and pituitary hormones. All these hormones are soluble in water. Next is steroids. They are derived from cholesterol, mostly lipid soluble. Example of these steroids are cortisol, aldosterone, testosterone, estrogen and progesterone. Next we will see about the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus, it is located in the brain. So hypothalamus is a small cone shaped structure that projects downwards from the brain and ends into the pituitary stalk. This hypothalamus only interlinks both the neural system as well as the endocrine system. So that is nervous system as well as the endocrine system. That is, it only connects both the nervous system as well as the endocrine system. Though pituitary gland is known as the master endocrine gland. The pituitary is called as the master endocrine glands because it controls all other glands. But this pituitary gland, that is this master gland, is controlled by the hypothalamus. So hypothalamus only controls the pituitary. The pituitary controls all other organs. Hypothalamus contains group of neurosecretory cells. They contains group of neurosecretory cells and it produces transmitters, neurotransmitters which regulates the secretions of the pituitary. The hormones produced by the hypothalamus act either as a releasing hormone or as an inhibitory hormone. So the hormones which are produced by the hypothalamus acts either as a releasing hormone or as an inhibitory hormone. What is inhibitory hormone? Means when the hormone level is secreted more, on the other side the hypothalamus stops the releasing hormone. So it is called as the inhibitory hormone. And in the basal region of the brain, the hypothalamic hypophyseal portal blood vessel connects the hypothalamus and the anterior pituitary. Pituitary is a lobed structure, bilobed structure. The anterior part is called as anterior pituitary and the posterior part is called as the posterior pituitary. So the anterior pituitary is connected with the hypothalamus with the help of the hypothalamic hypophyseal portal blood vessel. It allows the hypothalamic hormones to control anterior pituitary secretion. So this hypophyseal portal blood vessel only allows the hypothalamic hormones to control the anterior pituitary secretions. The posterior pituitary is connected with the hypothalamus by a nerve bundle called as hypothalamic hypophyseal axis. This hypothalamic hypophyseal axis produces nerve signal that controls the posterior pituitary secretion. And hypothalamus maintains homeostasis, that is the same environment or the constant environment in our body, and it maintains the blood pressure, body temperature, cardio and fluid electrolyte balance of the body. So the hypothalamus only controls the pituitary gland and the pituitary gland controls all other glands. In the next class we will discuss about the before going that we will see the major hypothalamic hormones. Okay. In the next class we will continue about the pituitary gland. Now we will see about the hormones which are secreted by the hypothalamus. First one is thyrotrophin releasing hormone. Okay, this thyrotrophin releasing hormone is secreted by the hypothalamus, in short TRH. This hormone only stimulates the secretion of thyroid stimulating hormone. And next is gonadotropin releasing hormone, that is GnRH. This hormone only stimulates the secretion of follicle stimulating hormone, that is FSH. And corticotropin releasing hormone CRH. This hormone only stimulates the secretion of ACTH. that is adrenocorticotropic hormone. ACTH means adrenocorticotropic hormones. Next is the growth hormone releasing hormone, that is GHRH. It stimulates the secretion of growth hormone. And prolactin releasing hormone, it stimulates the secretion of prolactin in the mammary glands. And luteinizing hormone releasing hormone, LH and RH, and it stimulates the secretion of LH. LH means what? Luteinizing hormone. And MSH releasing hormone, it stimulates the secretion of MSH. MSH means that is melanocyte stimulating hormone. And growth hormone inhibiting hormone, when the hormone is secreted more, then the hormone level should be stopped by the inhibiting hormone. It inhibits the secretion of growth hormone. And prolactin inhibiting hormone, that is PIH, it inhibits the secretion of prolactin. And MSH inhibiting hormone, it inhibits the secretion of MSH. Okay, so all these hormones are secreted by the hypothalamus. In the next class, we'll discuss about the pituitary gland, or otherwise called as hypophysis. Thank you.